what we need, and then we capitalize on the rest with Lutano and Yoda on the backside. This is the team I like to see from Freedom.
The question is, are we still going to continue to see this here from Team Freedom as we look at where we're going for Battleground number 4? Temple Storm having the choice of first pick or map selection. They go with map selection and have taken us to Volskaya Foundry, one of the new favorites here for Tempo Storm.
I think the one thing that this does help a little bit if you're on the side of Team Freedom is that you now have first pick. So if you want to ban the Maiev, you can probably assume that Medivh's going to be banned against you. The Maiev is giving them fits. This time, they were able to overcome it. The first couple of games, not so much. This time, they're going to have a little bit different opportunities to play around that first pick. Maybe, unless they've been practicing the Maiev, maybe they want to make a Maiev team of themselves. I'm really curious to see how we're going to approach the bans.
I also have a feeling that, you know, Blaze might be where we see Glorong finding himself this next game after what we just witnessed in the last. Not sticking to the Sonya as much as they would, but Blaze was in the 1-2 of, you know, Team Freedom in the last game.
We're just doing that one thing again on
drafts
we really,
for fun. Yeah, we like to bait you guys. You know, it's just mainly, can we get you excited? Can get your emotions
It's a week
up there?
late, but April Fool's. But, okay, so that begs the question here, Dreadnought.
What is it?
Blaze,
yes.
Your second pick, is it necessary to pick it in that 1-2 slot on the side of Tempo?
I don't think it's necessary, but I definitely would like it.
Because if not, you can believe with Freedom with those 3 picks. I don't see it going out there. I feel it's almost necessary.
I don't think that Tempo can't win this game if they let it go through, especially if they get their hands on the Dahaka later. If that commits to a ban, I don't think that the Sonya is poor enough that it pulls them too far back. It's just mainly that I do agree with you in the fact that like the hero impact and mainly what success that brought over to Team Freedom, that could be the thing needed to kind of push over the edge. But I'll be honest, I'm not overly sold on Glorong's Blaze either. I don't feel like he is overly kind of outstanding on the hero compared to some of his other ones. It seems like it's been more of a pickup because it's relevant rather than like that hero that, you know, like his Dahaka, where it's very much his, you know, kind of play style and the one that he kind of made his name on.
I want to see a similar style front line. I want to see something. This is a map where I think Tracer's really going to shine. I think going forward, we saw a little bit of Tracer play on this Battleground before. A lot of skirmish opportunities, and I think now the amount of sustain that she has in terms of her damage, we've already seen top-notch play on the side of Fan, but I think it's going to be draft dependent on the other side. When we look at the draft of Team Freedom is, will they have some type of lockdown? We already saw what happened when there was no lockdown when Team 12 played earlier. They just kind of obliterated people with that Tracer play. So I want to see where will Tracer kind of fall in this, because there's actually been the threat that Lutano might pick up that hero, that it's actually warranted bans from Tempo Storm. So I think for both teams, it's a very prominent hero.
I agree with you. I think that very much could be, you know, a hero that could be the make or break on a map like Volskaya, especially with the weight that is held around that middle fight. You know, the early game skirmishes, the snowball of Volskaya Foundry. There are a lot of questions to kind of be answered here. And to be honest with you, I want to sit on the side of Team Freedom. I really, really do. But I can't help but feel like one half of one game is not enough for me to go, I'm sold. But maybe they can change it up here, especially since Tempo, whenever they swap over that map pick, it generally looks real good.
All right, we're putting things back to the norm here. Now, if you're not going to go Hanzo, do you go first pick Garrosh? You know, Zugrug on that front line. We'll see if he's willing to commit to that draft-wise. We might even see Malfurion. I think at this point, between the Hanzo, Garrosh, it's almost too hard to pick Malfurion, but we have seen teams willing to go down that route.
Surprised at how long this has taken Team Freedom.
I mean, Genji is available. We've seen the Genji ban out against them, but that's more taking that away and making sure that Maiev was going to be picked up. Not what I expect.
I don't think that's what anybody would have expected. I'll be honest here.
Not even close to what I expected.
I feel like, is this double support now? Is that what that means? Like when we get a Sukov that high and that kind of spike, like immediately I'm going, this is with something in mind. And every time we've seen a support over the past 2 weeks that has been higher priority and out of place, it's always been back to the second one. So I don't know if I immediately look at that and go, I like that, but it's my first thought here because especially with Stukov, he's slightly dropped in priority for North America. You know, also Malfurion has heavily somehow dropped in priority here for NA. At least today's games specifically have been drastically low. He's almost been last picked, I think, 3 games.
I'm just trying to think of like Stukov. The Tracer does come out early, and Tracer does do well into Stukov. Now, with that being said, does Team Freedom say, look, we committed to the Stukov, we've given up the Tracer. Do we need that added layer of protection and then play the Tassadar for Yoda? And I feel like that answer might be a hard yes.
Varian Genji. Very offensive. All in, you know, kind of one-shot lockdown. Hard for Tracer to make much happen. But at the same time, Varian pre-second ban phase with a million options open doesn't scream the norm here for Freedom. But we said the same about the Stukov. I feel like they've got this kind of master plan here built up for Volskaya Foundry.
So Genji has generally been Lutano. Yoda can flex over. If we see this taunt into a Genji Swift Strike, normally you would say that Team Freedom might fall back, especially if, you know, Garrosh ends up making it through to tempo, that they might fall back to the Tychus because he has, well, there's no Garrosh. He has the Neo Steel Code in at 13 to deal with Pulse Bombs. He has the Odin to deal with Pulse Bombs and control over those. But I feel like you miss out on that one-shot kill potential with the Varian Genji is not enough, and Tychus is not enough follow-up to that. So is it Greymane? If not, where are you going?
Still got to figure out that for Tempo Storm as well. We have that Blaze available with after seeing such an offensive opener. I don't know if Tempo Storm, I look at that and I go, I'd be more likely to kind of commit to that. That in mind, again, Tempo is far more on that kind of Sonya and Dahaka train than the Blaze, and so they commit to that Dahaka over the Blaze. The reason why I just feel like Blaze over that is just purely based on, I mean, look at this. Your intent is to get the one shot. Yes, Dahaka is not a good target to get that one shot onto, but, you know, maybe having opportunity to save your Malfurion, your Tychus, or your Tracer could be huge here. Also, with the Tychus picking up the other side, it makes that question of who that's going to be. I feel like, without a doubt, we're screaming Greymane at this point for Freedom.
I almost feel like it has to be. He has a high enough health pool. He can hop into Worgen form, get that 10 armor as well. He also does really well at level 7 if you want to go the increased human range to deal with Tracer. And extra range, you outrange the Tracer, you dare her to step in, you make yourself a hard target to kill. Genji is protected, by the way. Varian also has to pick up his. It's no longer the old shield wall that we used to know at level 4 since the 4 and 10 are changed, and that reduces your parry option. So the shield wall is nowhere near the same if you pick it up at level 10.
10 seconds out here. Where does Freedom round this offensive composition?
I want to Blaze.
Blaze Greymane. I wonder if that's going to bite Tempo to commit to the Dahaka over the Blaze in that type of situation. If they need the counter momentum plus the, you know, pressure out. There's the Johanna last pick here for Tempo.
I really like this draft from Team Freedom, more so than I like their draft from last game. Outside of maybe the Varian pickup, the Varian, we've seen a couple attempts.
Man.
It hasn't looked pretty.
I'll be honest, like, I agree with everything you have to say except the Varian.
The Varian scares me because we haven't seen it work yet. Well, Heroes Hearth made it work. It was just in a very roundabout fashion.
Heroes Hearth didn't make it work. Arthalon got the world's biggest flank on double support Uther composition with the most amazing Hanzo era across the map to get a miracle one-shot down 2 levels on a game that they had no right being in it whatsoever. I'm just saying, I'm bringing it to light where the Varian got his only win was under the most how did they win this game you've ever seen. Other than that, we've seen Varian struggles left and right. Granted, this is with the Tracer, which we haven't seen the Varians picked into the Tracer as much as we have the Genji because the Tracer hasn't been around as much as the Genji. But I still kind of have that kind of reserve to have that. The one thing that I do feel like for a Varian on Volskaya, first control point happens at level 4. Varian has the chance to move in the taunt at 4. You already have a Looking Arm. You already have a Genji. Your kill potential at 4 is devastating.
See if they can pull it off. I love the Greymane pickup at the end of that, Dread. And I think a lot of it's going to be the follow-up. You look at the side of Malfurion. The one thing that you're going to be looking at, though, is going to be Varian going in for the charge, Blaze coming in for the potential follow-up, Genji and Greymane coming in as well. Moonfire does more healing when you're hitting more people. So I think clumping on that, you have to get that instant burst. You have to try and get it down. If you're going to keep an eye on Moonfire, your window is incredibly short because it's on such a short cooldown. See if they can get that blow up here, whether Johanna brings out the blind as well to neutralize that. They have a lot of defensive options, but I think Team Freedom does have enough punch if they can make it happen.
And one thing I'm looking at in this game is, though Johanna has come, more into the meta, and I've been a lot more supportive of like when we get her, when we don't, than I typically am out of her. This is one of the cases where we see no synergy, right? You can definitely see the justification within the pick between the threat of the front line and especially that variant. We talked about all the kill potential of level 4 over the first control point. But Tracer has no immediate setup or lockdown, nobody to join her. Tychus does well with Johanna just in the fact that, like, Tychus plays slow, Johanna plays slow, and their playstyles kind of cater to one another. Not very much peel there for the Dahaka. Just from beginning to end, it's not like the Johanna's out of place. It's reactionary, but it doesn't synergize well with Tempo's comp. So I'm going to be like, when do we get the Blessed Shields, and are they having value for the team? Because they need to. Condemn is so much, less useful without those kind of major Blaze pickups and things of the like.
This change-up, because Fan has generally been the Tychus player, Fan has also generally been the Tracer player. So we're getting a bit of a change-up here. Psalm is on that Tracer, and I always love the matchups. So we see Dahaka, he's going to brush Stalker in just for safety. Freedom's going to trade out on the Healing Pulse up at the top, but I always love the trade-off of a Genji versus Tracer. Like, Genji's always trying to get the deflect, Tracer wants that, trying to find that pulse bomb opportunity. Genji's always trying to bait a little bit. I mean, there's so much back and forth. It's one of my more favorite matchups when it comes to like the who's going to blink first, who's really going to win this.
It is one of that kind of instant, reactionary skill matchups. Most of the other ones we have are kind of slow, and it's about who ends up hitting the right skill shot here and there. But both of those are, that kind of trigger finger, and who ends up being able to identify it faster. Both the teams looking towards the camp. Tempo sticking to what they know best here on Volskaya. Tempo very much is shown over the last 3 times they played this map that they go double turret into stacking with the medic, and then they go, we have so much of in our arsenal, it doesn't matter what our comp is. You literally can't fight us on point because we rotated the controls very well. They've already done that. Invade over the first one that was traded over for the support camp on the side of Freedom. Invaded took over their second one. You can expect them to visit the support camp within that 1 in 50 if they have the opportunity to do so.
These drafts, I just feel so much better about these drafts compositionally for Team Freedom in the last game and a half.
I agree. Except for the variant, but I agree.
Outside of the variant, yeah. I mean, you can see a clear direction and a clear, I guess, play style that you expect out of Team Freedom or that you would hope for out of Team Freedom. I mean, after that last game, you got to be thinking, you get those kills, you got that win, your confidence goes up, because confidence is definitely something that when things aren't clicking, when you go into these unique drafts, it can be crippling.
We got ourselves a first control point. We got the taunt one-shot combo. We know what Freedom's looking to make happen. The question is, do they find themselves one? They go in on Fan. He's going to eat a lot of that damage, but Fan, oh my! Max range there from Nasmus, and that flamethrower ends up getting the pick.
Remember, taunt is on an incredibly short cooldown. So you have the opportunity to not just get one Dreadnought, but every time you have it, there it is again. They're using it onto the Johanna. There it is. The follow-up, the lurking arm. Isn't going to be enough. Iron Skin going to be able to walk away. But that is the threat, because Johanna, we're talking about Johanna here, not able to get the takedown. But that threat was very much there.
Got to be honest here. I feel like I also look at Fan and I go, should have known better type deal there. When it comes to the position, he straight up walked right into
the rhythm, though.
Yeah, I mean, you
got to get them stacks.
Into a variant, it's also one of those targets that normally, obviously, this isn't the same variant where you typically don't want to be kind of trading into that. I just view it as, probably dodgeable there and probably going to be changed over this next point. But 70% for Freedom and counting as Tempo trying to zone off control point A.
Cattle going into subdue at level 7, and you're going to have so much melee. There's the potential brush shot coming on the right side. He's going to be keeping an eye on Collusion. There's the follow-up, the instant turn. There's the taunt. Essence is going to be used there to keep Glaurung alive. In the meantime, though, saw him coming in with the big play on the pulse bomb.
Yeah, that was actually very well done by Tempo Storm. From beginning to end, just completely dismantling Team Freedom and that kind of, very linear approach to a team fight. They know that the combo has to go in with here's the taunt, here's the lockdown with the Stukov, and Tracer's one of the best at applying pressure towards that. But with everybody wanting to get the kill onto the single target of Dahaka, Dahaka has the passive, he survives, and then when the lurking arm comes up, your backliner just dives onto the Stukov and says thank you for the free percentage here. They're able to gain some control for themselves and prepping that top lane, setting Collusion all the way up there to rid of it as well. Tempo even now stacking up these turrets like they do best.
I think they already have 2. This is going to make number 3, and sitting on that control point, it's very unassuming on 1. You're like, all right, this kind of hurts. But the minute you mix 3 in, you're like, this is not fun. Nasmus looking for the play. Dahaka for the brush stalk again.
Pulse bomb gone out there from Psalm, landed onto Yoda, but he's going to be fine. There's the drag in the back line. Taunt's already used on the Glarong, lurking arm, but no kill going to be gained quite yet. Turret 1, turret 2, and 3 dropped by Tempo. Mouth setting out a great zoning route, and with the drag, Nasmus out. Tempo Storm get Protector 1.
Look at all 3 of those turrets. The minute those came out, you're just like, yeah,
Dude,
this hurts.
That was actually amazing. So, okay, so the route from June was purely a zone route. The retreat's going to be difficult, right? It wasn't for a specific target. But when you set all 3 of the turrets in that kind of cone, that's the only way out. So he's just like, you're either going to get the turrets or you're going to get my roots, boys. It was very, very well done there from Tempo.
You know, because of the duration of that last control point, Dreadnought, we're approaching 10. Once that tower goes down, you're just a few minions away. You'll have the threat of 10. This might be an opportunity for Tempo Storm to get a bit more out of this than we anticipate. I think a lot of teams are able to get. There's level 10 picked up. See if they can make more happen now that the threat is there. But between all the members split of Tempo, looks like they're going to go ahead and rotate up that 4-man.
Should be a double 4 for Tempo, I think, with this 10 spike. If not, it's going to be a keep from wall instead of that 4. Those are pretty much equal when it comes to duration of time to get the siege, but not so much equal when it comes to the world of experience.
They still have Odin.
All right, they still do. Nasmus, go ahead and pop that level 1 there. Get the auto attack and movement speed. Really good at getting the control. Also allows you to trade pretty well.
They're not going to commit to that mid lane, and I think it's just safe. As you can see, a decent amount of experience. Nasmus committed to that bot lane to get that experience. Just about a quarter level of away here for Team Freedom. You know, we saw them pick up their pace after the middle part of game number 3. See if they can kind of get their footing here. They did get that early pick, but good turnaround here by Tempo. Back and forth. The early game.
That's something I've never seen from a team, but it'd be interesting if that's a pattern that kind of develops from Freedom. Is like they almost need that sign of victory in every game, and if they get it, then they're just kind of cutthroat mentality, but without it, you know, kind of wait around, play it a bit more passive.
We get that cursed bullet, so those combos, that taunt combo, looking a lot more lethal. X-Strike might also be that finisher that they're looking for. Dragon Blade being thought about, but I imagine when you're going into this one-shot blow-up style, X-Strike definitely fits the mold.
I'm trying to figure out if there's another reason not to, though, on the other side of the table, because, I mean, it's not like Johanna has the best amount of clear for you.
I got an idea. Malfurion's holding his. If you X-Strike, that's a bullseye target for a Twilight Dream to make sure that Genji can't get out. Maybe there's some mind games going on, but Dahaka coming in again, Dread.
Genji committed with the X-Strike, so Malfurion yet to decide. Dahaka gets in, gets the drag. Blessed Shield coming out, but Collusion unable to make it to the bunker because the body blocks are there. Twilight Dream coming out from June. Everybody now trapped inside this bunker, but Fan doing his best to rip him out. Gorong unable to connect there with that isolation, but it's not going to matter. Jet Propulsion blocked by Nasmus, and 2-0 favor of Tempo.
With that, the control point will be here pretty soon, which means 13 is going to be here for Tempo Storm. Team Freedom now is going to have to find their experience elsewhere. Not able to hit the mark just yet, but again, Glaurung, we talked about the heroes that he's on when he's on Dahaka, and their team is communicating in this manner. They're making the big plays happen, and it's been a lot about Glaurung and those brush stalks in these last few fights, Dread.
Yeah, because every time you hear the brush stalk, that forces Freedom to try and get that all-in-one shot in a specific area. If that doesn't execute proper, which Tempo Storm knows that they can kind of force that with that brush stalk in, then it puts it into a very difficult opportunity for Freedom. Not that the comp itself is that hard in terms of what to make happen, but because, again, it's so straightforward. Here's the taunt into the root, or into, the silence. With Curse Bullet, everything's going to be happening in that manner. Tempo's doing a very good job of just going, can we bait that, make it look a little bit off, a little less synergistic? And whenever you kind of have a comp this synergistic, if you break one, chain and link, it's very much going to be a bike just kind of treading in place.
If you don't get it, can see it crumbles there, but that was a very aggressive approach there by Team Freedom. Again, 13, still a little ways away because of the time it takes to channel this. Team Freedom should be able to get on even footing in terms of talent here, so we'll see how long they hold. Again, Team Freedom, this is about the time where we saw the comeback last game. We know their fights, the way they want to take this is around that variant. We haven't seen a lot of success thus far with the reworked variant. We're going to see if Team Freedom can make it happen here.
Going to start off with just securing the level 13 before they end up making the rotation up. Not even going to commit to it. Well, I mean, they still don't have the 13s, but the fact that they're showing this many on bottom shows they have no intent to make the flight up, at least up until the last percentage.
They're willing to bring a little bit of their own arsenal this time. They're like, look, these turrets, we know, we felt their impact. We're going to bring one with us. We've got a little bit of time, but they're going to have to go directly up into this fight. You can see Johanna holding point. Tracer and team, they're lurking around, trying to maybe pick up this healing pulse. She's going to go ahead and back off. They're preparing for a fight. It's coming straight at them. Tracer for the flank, though.
Huge opportunity there. She ends up moving through.
Grenade in return. Going to send this bad boy to overtime. Zugrug and team are going to have to hold on to the point here.
Look at massive shove out. Taunt going to go down onto Cattle. Nasmus finds the backline with the two-man jet propulsion. Curse Bolt's going to be dropped. There's the Odin. Bunker coming out. Genji goes in. Not going to find the reset. The isolation lands, but there's that Twilight Dream. Pulse Bomb. Nasmus is out of here. Tempo Storm opening up with the first kill. Drag onto Greymane for sure. He's going to get kill number 2 as Psalm goes in there. Gives him a nice little slap there on that Tracer. Massive shove out coming out once more, but Fan doing so much damage there. Parry in on Zugrug, but Psalm, all 3 kills. Just tracking him down there on that Tracer.
Making it happen. 16 going to be picked up the minute one of these goes down, and then all of a sudden we're looking at Keep going down. Team Freedom is going to have to fear. Pulse Bomb already ready. The thing that we saw earlier was that if you fall too far behind in this and you give up 1 kill, give up 2 kills, and you don't have the pressure to deal with this because Greymane is just now back up, this is going to go from Keep to maybe more. They have to be very careful. Team Freedom has to tread lightly.
Collusion, drop down that lurking arm. Yoda doing his best to get the autos attacks there in human form. We see the bunker throwing down. 3 members going to enter. Blaze is going to be the last one to exit. Going to be met with the Malfurion Root, Pulse Bomb 2, and now he is going to be put out here. Tempo Storm get their first kill, and now they want to end this game. Massive Shove is not going to land, and that's a cooldown they're going to want if they're going to hold off on this core. Tempo Storm tries to end the Series J help, but the one shot onto the backline. They killed the Tracer.
They finally get it. They finally get it. Now if they can burst down this Protector, see if they can close the gap, maybe get a little bit further. That's why you see Zugrug's positioning so far. Taunt is on a short cooldown. Iron Skin already used. Let's see if they go for it again, Dread.
Blessed Shield, those are going to be enough of a deterrent along with that Malfurion Root. 4 versus 4 here as they're going to aggress farther.
Oh, we just missed the Lion's Maw
Tempo
for the
Storm
slow.
should turn this. They shouldn't be afraid of this. At 4 versus 4 this far away, with a 16 talent tier advantage.
There's the Cursed Bullet. Nice Iron Skin there by Cattle. Here's the turnaround, Dread.
Yeah, they are going to turn it around, but it feels like it's a little bit too late now. Cattle, poke and prod back, and they walk out now. Tempo Storm should be looking to deter the members of Team Freedom. Again, I hate to keep status update. Team Freedom doesn't have 16 talent tiers. I don't know if anybody forgot this, but they're playing like they have them. And Tempo's been letting them have quite a bit. Now they're going to try and contest this. Damage goes out, X-Strike in, and Glarong is dead.
Bunker there to save them just in case they needed that backup option. They said, who cares if we have 16 or not? Let's take it. That's all they need, though. When you get 1 kill in the middle of that, that's what they've been looking for. They were able to pull that off. Glarong almost had enough essence, but the X-Strike obviously being the X factor. 16 now close here for Team Freedom. The momentum starting to build up. They did lose their keep. They don't have the global. But if you're Team Freedom and you're looking at recent history, this is exactly the type of pace you need.
I feel like the biggest difference, though, from this game and the last time we saw that was the keep advantage as early as it is, and Glarong's on a global, which is actually going to force that problematic responses out of Blaze and put that kind of time pressure onto Varian and Team Freedom with their initiation. So, though I do agree with you, it's showing all the signs of, okay, here's Freedom. They get signs of life. They're going to come out guns blazing, suddenly make Tempo look silly. They never let go of the last one, but Tempo has got a bigger advantage than they had last time we hit that kind of breaking point.
And a big part of it is the simple fact that that's top lane. Next control point's bottom, and you can see that they're already manipulating the fact that Team Freedom rotated to the top. They're making their way down here quickly. They might be able to hold this fort. Zugrug coming in for the flank, looking for the big taunt.
He hits the taunt combo. Lurking Arm goes out, but after we see that Blaze actually hovering for a flank from above. Twilight Dream goes out and they get the kill onto Stukov. Varian unable to get anything off there as he is going to be still silenced. Makes his way back into the bunker. Fan a bit too far in. Takes a lot of damage. Lutano needs a reset if they're going to turn it around. X-Strike goes down, but Freedom without 2 members trying to retreat. Glarong with a max range drag onto Yoda is going to reel him back in. Psalm looking for a 4th here. Can he track down Nasmus? Pulse Bomb going to be up in about 1 to 2 more autos. And actually Lutano might be dead. He's got to deflect. Oh man, he almost had it there. Recall attempt to get the parting gift over the wall. Not successful, but 4 for 0.
Max range indeed. Glarong on point with these drags. Going with the extra drag range at level 16. Definitely paid off there. Team Freedom, they were feeling themselves just a little bit, maybe a bit too much. You know, Catapults actually made their way up, almost took down the shields to give core damage. But Dreadnought Looking at the options now, Team Freedom, they are in a desperate situation. 20 almost here for Tempo Storm. Next Protector bot lane. That bottom keeps so low that you don't have to take the Protector over the top. Team Freedom, this might be their last stand.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be the old football classic Hail Mary here for Freedom, because this is very much, kind of check and mate. If Tempo Storm pick up this Protector, with how well they prep the top half of the map with the 20 advantages,
I think they're going to use the Johanna, Tracer, Tychus to potentially steal that camp, buy out a rotation. And Team Freedom, they're going to find nobody home on this control point.
Tempo actually is just going to feign core and try and, kind of get them to get back. This isn't feigning core as much as it's, hey, pay attention to us, Florong. Keep track of, if somebody stays on the point whenever they don't, be willing to get any information possible. Now they see somebody had to respond. Tempo now make the transition down. I will say, though this is clever from Tempo, a little more passive than I would have expected, but, those couple of kills from Freedom, enough to kind of shake confidence for a moment.
20 now here for Tempo Storm, gives them the control. Camp not fully clear. That will be cleared by the next minion wave, but catapults will mount. If Team Freedom is going to put up a fight, it has to be fast, it has to be precise, and it has to be effective. You cannot afford to trade at this point because that top lane will be so impactful. They're coming in for the big flank.
Here it comes. Drag gonna land before the combo goes out, but look at that. Fan's in a really bad spot. Lurking Arm not gonna be onto the kill target. Everything here for Team Freedom is not opening this fight proper. And there goes the Twilight Dream, locking down 3 plus the contagion there from Glorong. Freedom lose 3 members in what seems like a blink of an eye. The catapults on top with the camp already pushing towards the core. Tempo Storm is gonna try and end this game.
I think it's easily done at this point. Catapult's already on the top, as is the remnants of that camp. Lutano's going to be over there. The Protector, though, has been picked up. This looks like the victory march in favor of Tempo Storm. Team Freedom showed signs of life as we got to the later part of this series, but Tempo Storm proving to be a bit too strong, still showing we are #1 here in North America.
Yeah, with this victory over Team Freedom, they are very much going to be furthering themselves, because as of the results as of late, Tempo Storm put themselves at near-tied position with Heroes Hearth. But they're showing, again, the new blood of North America is not going to be enough to take them out of that first seed here in HGC North America. Tempo takes it 3-1.
Talked a lot about Psalm on that Tracer. Ended up with 10 kills at the end of that, being extremely effective on that hero, allowing Fan to move over to that Tychus. It's just the variant right now, we see signs of life, but it hasn't been enough in a lot of these fights. And, Team Freedom, they got behind, started to fight back, overextended a bit towards that bottom fort, just weren't able to recover.
I feel like that bottom fort fight for Freedom, if you notice, I kind of called it before it even happened, was purely based on the fact that that variant initiation mixed with the Stukov and everything like the one-shot kill potential, when it looks good, it looks like top Protector, right? Top Protector Siege in the game. One shot, one kill, not a chance in the world. But if any one of those pieces, I tried to say, you break the chain, it all looks really silly, really fast. Lurking Arm looked on the retreat. The taunt going on to Tychus, who was sitting there Odining in a completely different section. They were all on this opposite pages, and then Tempo just goes, I mean, if you aren't going to open this proper, this composition does not hold up. I mean, beyond the 20 talent tier advantage, that was still weighted for Tempo, but I'm just trying to highlight that why, kind of whenever variant gets picked, I'm going to doubt it, is because there are certain elements that are necessary within those compositions, not just the variant, I'm saying all linear compositions. And it was great there from Tempo Storm. The punishment very much there. The synergy and everything alike, we still got that bite from Team Freedom, and that makes me hopeful here, but I can't help but feel like they need that before the game starts. When that countdown comes in, 5, 4, 3, we get the loading screen. That's a good time to start getting ready to,
Not 10 minutes in?
Yeah, bring the action.
Well, I want to give a lot of credit to Tempo Storm in this case. I mean, we were kind of wondering where they were going to sit after their Team 12 series. Drafts looked on point. Synergy looked on points. They had varied strategies in terms of what they wanted to pull off, but they were all effective, all doing what we know Tempo Storm to do. You take it away from the team fights. You take it away from that. You look at the macro decisions that we had on Infernal Shrines, on Sky Temple. Everything that they did was so decisive, so concise, that there was such a calculated approach to everything that they were doing that it looked like the Tempo Storm that we expected to see. And to do that against a team like Team Freedom definitely shows they still got it. They didn't fall off. One loss doesn't mean much. That's only their second of the year so far outside of the clashes. So I'd say that we dug their grave a little bit too soon. I do know, however, next week they got a big time setup. That will be the ultimate decider for Tempo Storm.
Yeah, and what he's alluding to there is, in fact, the second seed in North America. Actually, I don't know if Freedom, now after this win, put themselves kind of like in that area. I believe still Heroes Hearth is at the second seed slot. Heroes Hearth versus Tempo Storm coming up next weekend. It's going to be amazing, honestly. It's going to be really dope to see that kind of action as we're still waiting here to get Psalm on the line. But the one thing I agree with you, I can't help but feel like Temple Storm, where they were looking at Team 12 and, you know, the lack of success there, which I definitely want to hear from their perspective, right? We don't sadly get losers interviews. Like, when a team like that loses, like, what did that feel like for the group? But mentally, when you're a team as dominant as Tempo Storm and as, you know, confident as Tempo Storm has been, I feel like it is underestimated how jarring a loss like that can be against a team like Team 12. So to come out here as dominantly as we saw from them, as clean a play, and again, those couple moments I was highlighting of that aggression, I really loved from Tempo. It was pretty impressive to see that from them.
We had a good all-around performance, I think, from Tempo. So it was a good one.
We did. But, you know, we got the man Psalm here on the line. Psalm, are you with me?
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Huge congratulations here with the 3-1 up against Team Freedom. Already out the gates, the first thing I got to be asking you, actually, I have my question written down here. I can't find it, but I got to ask you first, how does it feel? And number two is you on the Tracer. That looks good in that last game. 10 kills, like bouncing around left and right. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, the games felt good. They felt really, really clean. You already know we're playing on a USA, which is the West server. You can't lose on it. It's impossible. You can't lose on USA. So, you know, we played very, very confident and clean, except Shrines. We threw that game a little bit. But, yeah, you know, Tracer felt good. All the drafts felt good.
So, you know, kind of, I want to ask you a little bit of the perspective of maybe what had happened on Friday with the results of against Team 12, more of the thought process, you know, because again, we don't get to hear from you guys if you don't end up getting the win. Like, what was the calm/thought process? Was it devastating? Was it very easy to kind of brush off from a group like you? Or are you guys' heads?
You know, we're all vets. We've been playing this game, you know, how many years now? A lot of us have been at the top. We know how it feels like to lose. Especially tough matches. So we're all able to bounce back. In that matchup, you know, we were a bit afraid to pull the trigger. We were a bit hesitant in the series. I don't know why, but we obviously fixed it up today, and we were just go and showed.
Yeah, no, it very much did. You guys look cleaner than ever. Jay, how?
Psalm, you guys obviously going up against an opponent who had taken you down earlier in the year. You guys get redemption here. But for Team Freedom, it seems like there's something missing with there. When you guys are in the first two games, we get two very different drafts from Team Freedom. One, a very, very passive approach with the stitches. The second, an all-in composition. But neither seemed to work out. What are your thoughts on Team Freedom right now?
You know, Team Freedom looked like they had a lot of potential at the beginning of the season. With the new roster changes, you know, they were very strong. They looked like they were going to end up number 2 seed, maybe even number 1 seed for like a good month or so. What happened to them, I'm not too sure. Whether it's like atmosphere, whether it's the meta, whether it's confidence, I don't really know.
Well, looking at you guys, a keynote for us coming into this weekend was you guys' spot in that first pick. Today you got Maev a couple times. Is that kind of the focus? Are you guys aware of the kind of win-loss there? You guys do much, much better in that second pick slot, but you got Maev a couple times, and you kind of played around that by not banning it out, not banning the Medivh. Is that something you're focusing on to make sure you can get these strong heroes, or is that something that even plays into the draft?
You know, it's we're just playing the game to have, you know, whatever amount of strong picks that we can get. So if it means leaving both Medivh and Maev up so that we can get some strong picks, so be it. If we have to ban it out, so be it. You know, we're just playing the numbers game, seeing what we can get in terms of strong picks.
You know, I've been keeping note of the way that you guys have been playing different drafts, obviously different style of play that we're getting from Tempo Storm. You had the loss against Team 12, but it seems like you guys are evolving as a team. When you look at this, obviously the goal is going to be mid-season brawl. Every week, I want to know, are you guys feeling more confident with the changes since the clash? No more death ball. Are you feeling more and more confident? Do you see the progress on your end?
Yeah, a lot of us, we all put in the work. We all put in a lot of Hero League time, so we're all very flexible in our hero pools. So if we want to rip a different draft, or, you know, try something different, you know, try something Europe's doing, we're all very confident in that we can pull it off. So yeah.
You just mentioned Europe. Are you guys focusing more on Europe, kind of seeing things that are working for maybe teams like Dignitas? Is there any teams in particular you look at maybe in Europe or maybe Korea?
Yeah, we definitely keep an eye on Europe's draft, especially the top teams like Dig, and we do keep an eye on, what Ballistics is drafting, what Tempest and KSV what they're prioritizing, and there's some differences there as well, and we see what we can, you know, pick from each region, and then we either implement it or we don't, depending on what we like from it, our style, whatnot.
Well, your style seems to be continuing to work for you guys. Obviously, picking up the win today, redeeming yourself against Freedom. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The play style paying off here for you guys, Psalm, but a team who also, has a unique play style has got to be Heroes Hearth Esports, where we have you guys going up against them, obviously sitting at the top in North America with them right behind you guys on the kind of tail. How do you feel? Thoughts, from our end, I know there's nothing but hype. We've been looking forward to this since Friday's results.
I mean, it's no problem. Crowan already got a loss in his Hanzo, so I already know they're shaking up. Their confidence is wavering. Their squad, they're faltering. Come on, that one loss with the Hanzo, they can't recover.
It's going to be easy from this point on here for Temple Storm, all because the Hanzo lost there on for Crowan.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Psalm, and the floor is yours for any shout-outs you want to give.
Yeah, first of all, shout out to Tempo Storm, our awesome org. I know that you guys might see my pink jersey here. It's from Valentine's Day, but sometimes you're feeling a little bit flashy. You guys can check out our website if you guys want these jerseys. Shout out to our sponsors: Red Bull, Nvidia, Secret Lab, Skytech, Felix Gray, Playvik, and Twitch. And also shout out to Twitch chat and especially the 5-Digit Club. Listen, I know that this Hero League season, the 5-Digit Club is a little bit easier to get into, but we're rooted in a history where it used to mean, something great. But shout out to you guys and shout out to my friends and family and my teammates. And yeah, I was joking about the Crow and Hanzo thing.
I think we figured you were. Thank you very much, and congrats again, Zol.
Thank you, guys.
A little bit of clarification, I guess.
Yeah, just be like, hey, by the way, Heroes Hearth isn't free. It's probably going to be a doozy. Yes, the results of, again, this weekend and what Heroes Hearth has had going for them mixed with, again, the kind of almost throne that Temple Storm has sat on for so very long here in North America. It's amazing to think that we might have that kind of, shaking moment.
It's almost 2 years. It seems like they've been on top.
Temple
they formed
Storm,
in July
as
of
an
2016.
org, has never, they're the only org that in all of North America, other than kind of blips and moments and when they walked over to Korea, every time that they have sponsored a team in North America, they've either been 1 or 2.
You know anything about that?
No, I don't know anything about that. That was the nicest
Where were
compliment
you
you've ever given me.
Where were you
Thank
at?
you.
1?
Anyways.
2? 1?
It depends. It would pick a moment. BlizzCon, definitely not the 1 slot. But before that point, there was a lot of 1s.
You guys are okay.
We were at best. Anyways, we got the schedule to figure out, what we got on locking for you guys next weekend. And that is going to be Tricked Esports taking on Zealots on Friday. Team Liquid will be taking on Leftovers. We have LFM Esports versus No Tomorrow at the end of the day. But before that, it's going to be Gale Force versus Simplicity. Jay, what stands out for you?
Gale Force, I want to see, are they riding a wave? Is that wave going to crest and fall? Or are they going to continue their ascension? They've looked really good. Even in losses, they've looked pretty well here in the second part of Phase 1. And I think that Gale Force is a team that's right on the cusp. Their drafts have looked better. Their play style looks better. Their late-game decision-making looks better. And against a team like Simplicity, you're always going to be challenged by a team like that. As we saw earlier today, Simplicity always bringing an added element to kind of raise the difficulty level to take somebody down. So I want to see, can Gale Force continue?
I agree. Gale Force has a lot of hype. A lot of amazing things happened here in week number 8 of HGC North America. A lot of mix-ups, again, from that 5 all the way to the number 1. And I think from this point on, it's just going to be what happens. It's exciting. It's just going to be, other than Tempo is just eke that much more to the first seed, but it's still close. It's still possible. And then everyone else, the playoffs fighting, everything next week is going to be oh so very dramatic. I want to say thank you for each and every one of you that ended up tuning in with us here today. That's going to be it for us this weekend, HGC North America. But we'll see you next week. And until then, we'll see you in the Nexus.